50-50 coming down to the wire when it jumps in there. And so good stuff all around. Ready, set. We're going to take a look at Canadian Rejects versus CMG. Canadian Rejects is Elite, Z, and Island Boy. These three guys hitting the ground running. Ready, set, talk to me about Canadian Rejects.
Yeah, all three of these players have some serious history. I mean, Z especially going back several years in the North American scene, but also sort of in the larger worldwide Brawl Stars competitive scene. These guys, they're really talented group of players, and we've even seen them qualify for monthly finals in the past. So I'm excited to see what the guys get done today. They are up against a very, very tough squad today, though.
Across the way, Canadian Rejects there. Should be a fun scene to see how it all goes. But their opposition, Fade, RBM, and Toast. These are the guys that I have winning the entire month of June. Toast, one of the big guys on the squad, but really one of the things that I like about this team, Kenny, is the fact that Toast, RBM, and Fade, all three of them are on camera after some lunch there in the background, but all three of them kind of like are the guy. I think Toast might be the loudest, but RBM and Fade and Toast on the field, I think all three of them equally make as much noise as each other.
I think it's a fantastic four-man roster. One of the unique things about these guys is that they all rotate in and out between sets, between matches, and they make it work. That's something I don't think a lot of teams could balance well, and they've done it to perfection this year. I think it's one of the most fun things about them, and I love seeing that it's a four-man crew. It's the next man up kind of mentality. I think that's what's helped them be so successful this year.
One thing to note, Toast's not there. Toast might be playing from home if he's playing here today. We'll get confirmation from the admin team backstage, but at the moment, we will show you our maps. And ready, set, thank you for your time. We'll see you on the flip side as we get into the split side here. Hot Zone, going to be the first map of the day. We'll do Brawl Ball and then Bounty. And should we need it, we'll do Heist and Gen Rev a little bit later if he's playing here today. So we'll get confirmation from the here. When it comes to split here for Hot Zone, one of the more interesting maps in some of the other regions, we were doing parallel plays. I think Hot Zone is very similar. Kenny, what's your feel as far as split is concerned? I know it's not everybody's favorite, but Barley is what to expect.
Yeah, I think this is a tough map to play, especially at a professional level. Holding on to one Hot Zone, tough. Let's add in a second, and things get pretty crazy. They're going to go with Barley as a first overall selection. He's an area control brawler at his finest, and when you have that last call super, he can dish out a ton of damage, kind of zone off the enemy, and they're going to rely on Stu and Colonel Russ on the other side for the bounce shot, at least as a way to attempt to deal with that. Or with Stu, they could go with the speed zone. They could go with the wall break if they want to disrupt things a little bit. So I think they've got a little versatility on this left-hand side. On the right, a responsive Penny. It was the most played brawler between NA East and NA West last time round. B joining in as well. Phenomenal B. That's going to be Toast and Juan Carlos. So I'm assuming that one's going to be dealt over to Toast. I'm getting flashbacks of Toast popping off with this brawler on this map in particular in the grand finals against Tribe. And a little spice added too, a little dynamite. Love to see it. I think these are going to be two very fun drafts.
Love this choice of the mic here. One thing I want to note is Mr. P banned. Expect a lot of Mr. P attention in North America. There's a lot of conversation about Mr. P in North America. We didn't see too much of him worldwide, but this is the Penguins region. That said, I like the choices here from Canadian Rejects. They seem to be looking for that wall break, whereas Chazbag Gaming with the Barley and the Penny kind of don't want you to break too many walls. So I think this is a really cool adjustment from CR.
I think so too, and I think a great shot with Mr. P. I had the chance of interviewing OG, a pro player from NA West, and he noted that Mr. P is a top 5 brawler in personal opinion. I'm expecting to see a lot of him in the ban or the play stage throughout the weekend. A very annoying one and a pesky one to face off against as we kick off game number 1. It's going to be Z in the mid, Toast, RBM left-hand side, trying to deal with Island Boy. And again, with 2 zones, each side fighting for that 50%. On the right for CR, it's going to be their home side, the hard part, getting to the away, and neither side really giving up any edge whatsoever here so far.
Yeah, Fade's showing really why the Barley was selected. That said, hasn't done a great job of keeping the enemy at bay until now, just now stepping up. Canadian Rejects have most of that point, and they're a third of the way done with the match, whereas Chazbag Gaming have yet to step up. That said, I don't think that's indicative of CMG kind of sitting on their heels, as Fade does get a kill on the right side, the one that Canadian Rejects was having a good time with. So Chazmac shift over the second player, Toast, to the right side, and just like that, Chazmac have the lead.
Yeah, CMG looking in prime position to take off here. The Rocket Rain going down right-hand side, but Fade and Toast mostly unharmed, and now they're sending 2 to the away side on CR, but they can't yet claim their own home turf. RBM single-handedly defending the side of gaming, and now they're 70+%. This is about to get out of hand here for Canadian Rejects.
You know, this is what I was talking about when it comes to Chazmac. Fade was given the 1v2 on the right-hand side, and losing your lane versus winning the game, who cares? The game is what matters. Hold that thought, though, as Canadian Rejects find a kill onto Toast, and are now looking for the secondary move. Island Boy dodges the shot for the left-hand side. Right side is capped, and Chazmac, they all but have it here. Canadian Rejects step up and threaten, but they don't follow through with that threat. Kenny, I was telling you how I like CMG because they were a full squad. Well, they gave the ball to Fade there and made him deal with the 1v2, and he did a great job of keeping them at bay. And then we saw the other side, RBM having to play 1v2 on that Penny, and was able to do it. Really cool gadget usage as well, dropping the Salty Barrel to avoid some nonsense. And so, really strong display of CMG's entire team approach.
Yeah, it's just a team's team, right? It's all about doing your part, and I think 3 very different brawlers all fulfilling very different roles. RBM now defending the left-hand side, so home turf secured for CMG. Island Boy doing his best to own their own, but now Fade, Toast rotating over. Again, they're getting overwhelmed. Once you give them an edge, they get positioning. They're not breaking these particular walls, and now they're even set up with a honey molasses pot. They're gonna have to rely on Dynamite to just hurl up some shots, and Elite finally getting a kill here. So Island Boy with an opportunity to help CR get back into this, but nonetheless still going to be very tough if Toast keeps popping off like that.
And that's kind of what Toast does. I like how Chazmac Gaming kind of give Toast, just toss him the B, let him hit his shots as he's known to do. I'm a little disappointed that the Dynamite isn't working out. I think this was a great selection. The thrower aspect, the wall break aspect, and ultimately I don't think the losing situation has much to do with the pick. I think Chazmac are just playing hot potato really well.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of juggling all the action right now. Toast, though, trying to go against Elite here. Elite getting the victory on the right-hand side. So 2 red brawlers on the left, though, are much more concerning for the Canadian Rejects now as they're less than 10% to go. The stun going down, the super out. Elite gets the kill. Toast stays alive. They're going to have to play a perfect defense here. Otherwise, it's going to be Chazmac Gaming running away with the set number 1.
Chazmac 8% to go. And here's a super from Barley that should send everybody packing. And the team steps forward. Island Boy steps all the way down, and Chazmac takes set 1.
Well played all around. I mean, I can't bring up too many complaints here. They really played a very solid set. I think it's no matter who you put in, it's going to work out for them. I think they played a very safe composition too. They didn't really reinvent the wheel at all, even despite all the balance changes that we just went through in the about a month or so that we've had off since our last broadcast. We saw B, Penny, the 2 most played brawlers in NA East last time around, and they still make it work. Again, Toast, an excellent B, somebody that popped off. Definitely go back, rewatch that grand finals moment against Tribe. It was some of his best work, and I feel like CMG are just confident right now, and now they're taking down an underdog team in set number 1. This is business as usual for them. I think they want to prove that they are the number 1 team to beat in NA East here today.
Yeah, listen, I even made fun of this last when casters are like, this team just wants it more, or they're hungrier. You know what? I always take that with a grain of salt, because what does that actually mean? But I think if you talk about NA, if you ask most fans who the 2 teams to watch in NA are, you're going to get Tribe Stamina. And I know that the Chazmac guys don't like that. And I think they want to change the narrative. And so, yeah, I'm going to be that caster that I hate to hear and say that they might be a little bit hungrier. But ultimately, I want to hit this draft again because the number differential is huge. Island Boy not even getting a kill, NZ, with just 69 DPS. I look at this Chazmac draft, and I thought it was near perfect for the map. You know, you got your thrower, you have your 1 sharpshooter just in case the wall break composition across the way does work out, and also B, honey molasses. I mean, that's just what you got to do, right? Like, I don't care about the changes. Penny's still the guy, and so great stuff there coming out from Chazmac in set 1. But we shift gears to set 2. Pinhole punt will be the map. Brawl ball will be the situation at hand there. And so as we jump into the P's and B's, we see kind of standard stuff. A lot of Shelly bans as well. Worldwide recognized as a little too much to handle.
Too much to handle, and the win rate this weekend has been astronomical. Played 25 times, 88% win rate. You gotta ban her. No exceptions, she wins. And I see both teams doing it. They're not taking any chances to say Brawler. I don't expect to see a lot today. I think North America will learn from these other regions. APAC, EMEA, SA East, SA West. Does not matter. Shelly wins. And I just think that's the state she's in right now.
I mean, especially for Brawl Ball, like Shelly, you stay away from Shelly because of the shotgun, but Brawl Ball is a map where you have to walk towards her. Or a game mode, doesn't matter what map. You have to walk towards somebody, so you stick Shelly on defense.
They're not taking any chances to say Brawler. I don't expect to
deal with. And so Chazmac gonna go with the M's and the Otis to cross the Penny selection from Canadian Rejects.
Otis is somebody I'm always a fan of when I see him. I feel like his play rate has definitely diminished more recently, but still a very solid overall brawler. It's one of those exceptions to kind of taking down tanks here too. RBM running an M's. We've got Toast. He hits you with Syl. You're basically rendered useless. What can you do other than walk around the map as a talking head? And I think this is a great start. Fat splatter for a little area control. I'm just a big fan of Otis in general, and I think in this mode too, it can certainly work out. On the other side, Z going to be playing the Max, somebody that before our break was played a ton, but is certainly not showing up as much now. I think what she brings to the table, though, some extra speed in Brawl Ball. You want to be a little dynamic, right? You want to be able to go make those big momentous plays, especially post-goal. It's an easy way to retaliate and respond with a goal of your own, or dig it in for a second. So I think Max, understandable, especially considering the map and mode.
Also, just coming through here, Stu will be selected, and Fade is going to be stepping out. We'll see Juan Carlos taking place here on the Chazmac roster. So elites with the Stu selection. So Stu, Penny, and Max going head-to-head against Ems, Sam, and Otis. Now, Ems, Sam, and Otis, definitely an oddball composition as far as just like, these are not the number 1 or number 2 picks that we see in general. But coming to Brawl Ball, I like this a lot. Ems in general is always kind of devastating when she's walking up the map. Sam, that's what he does too. And then the Otis, you spend a lot of time talking about the technicality of how Otis can really affect the map. So I like the creativity. Kenny, do you like the comp?
I think it makes a lot of sense. I feel like Chazmac Gaming, we're playing a little bit of chess there, right? They take their first 2 picks being generally good into tanks, almost daring Canadian Rejects to do the same. If they do so, they have an advantage, and if not, they can just grab a tank of their own. They have that aggressive flair that they need. Is now Toast dribbling the ball right-hand side. Z falling low HP. Just watch his teammate go down. They're going to hold off for now, but again, I think they've got the area control on defense. They've got good goalkeeping going from Toast. Juan Carlos can put you at a halt, and now they've got their attack. It's going to be RBM. So I'm very excited. I think this is a very well-rounded comp, and it may be unique, but I think it can get the job done.
Not going to disagree there. Ball passed right in front. Toast tries to send it, but the kill is good. The ball's on the line. The ball's over. Game's not. Just 1-0.
Nice little bounce there too, but just so much aggression coming out of Chazmac Gaming here early. RBM just taking resources. That's a lot of what Sam does, and he has the benefit of healing himself now as well. Toast dribbling ball, wide open goal in a quick game here from Chazmac Gaming North America. This one could be gone before our very eyes if they keep this up, F.
Sheesh. That one was very fast, and honestly, when I saw the M's and the Sam together, less so the Otis is there for other stuff, but like M's and Sam are really, that's an impressive duo. M's just has so much range or space with her basic attack, and then Sam's just gonna punch you down. You mentioned a good point about his heal as well, and so this composition is oppressive. That's the word right now for CMG.
Yeah, and the other team just can't do the damage. Now we got an easy walk in here for Toast as well. A little bounce back, a push through, and a punch through the goal. Chazmac Gaming just unfazed. Max has a pea shooter on her. Penny, not high DPS. Stu, not technically a single shot brawler, but at the same time can really only focus one enemy at a time. When you have a running RBM, one of the finest tanks in the world coming at you, what are you supposed to do? Island Boy just forced to get desperate, supers it away, and now just going to be walking around, healing up as Juan Carlos and Toast continue to just pummel Canadian Rejects right now.
Well, here comes the respawn from RBM. And at $1:37 to go. We've got a real game here, folks, as RBM just feeds himself on the left side. The 1v2 doesn't work out. That's partially the tank experience, for sure. But Island Boy snuffed out of the grass. And here comes the push forward. RBM dodges some, but is caught after the fact. Ball still centered, and just over a little over a minute to go.
Ball control also with CMG as Toast gonna activate the super here. RBM with the ball in hand, now passing it forward. Elite low HP. RBM pops Gadget, pops it in the goal as well. Chasmic Gaming just simply can't be taken down. The aggression, the team chemistry, it's all falling into place right now for CMG and A.
That's the whole set. We're just going to Bounty now. Brawl Ball's over. Are you kidding? That's it? I think the first game, honestly, like, I'm not sure if we tracked these stats, but that might be one of the shortest sets I've ever casted here at BSC, that's for sure. But taking a look at how CMG came through, and again, just like we talked about hunger and desire. Yeah, this is a team that wants to do it, man. Just very quickly. Look at this. What do we put? A minute and 53 left on the scoreboard, or on the clock there, after that first goal. And just fast gameplay brought to you by a barrage of damage on the right side. You brought up how there wasn't a lot of DPS on Canadian Reject side, and for sure. But there was just the right damage on CMG side as well.
Yeah, it just feels like they can do no wrong. And granted, too, Canadian Rejects, certainly a little newer to this broadcast this year. They're players that I've had the privilege of casting in things like qualifiers, and they've certainly been around, but these are the top of the top dogs. So getting their feet adjusted here, a team that recently joined together, I don't expect them necessarily to win, but they're certainly a good team. But man, Chasmic Gaming looked darn good. RBM, the tanky player, getting at 9 kills there, doing his job to perfection. Again, a lot of credit to CMG here. They're getting the job done. They're doing great work. Now we're hopping over to dry season. They're going to be looking to complete the sweep on this one.
Well, Bounty is the name of the game here. And Brawl Ball, you saw those numbers. More DPS out of the Canadian Reject side. But that was the bigger point that you drove home. The tankiness was just too much to deal with. And now as we jump into Bounty, we'll see the first pick Sprout here off the map.
No Shelly as well, which is interesting here too. I mean, again, this is not a map you would think no shotgun brawler. It's a little more wide open, usually caters to throwers, sharpshooters, but Shelly is just something different right now. No Grom or Tick either, so Canadian Rejects banning the other 2 typical throwers, and there's Mr. P that we brought up. It's the first time we're going to see him debuted here today, at least. It's somebody that I expect to see pretty frequently in the ban stages and even the play rates as well, so I'm excited to see what he can do. Gus is another one I definitely have my eyes out for in North America, and especially on this map as well. We'll see if either side elects to pair with that too, but so far, business as usual. The only one, of course, Mr. P, going to be somebody worth noting that a lot of pro players are valuing at this time.
So as Canadian Rejects goes ahead and picks their second selection, let's dive deep a little bit into the Mr. P stuff. Gus is going to be there. 10 points, man.
Thank
Mr.
you,
P, Spawner, the Porter. Why is he so valuable at the moment?
It's a really interesting shift we've had, and especially when digging in with OG, he was allowed me to kind of pick his brain with a bunch of questions. And since, you know, Masters, we always have this flare of new brawlers that come in. Last year for North America, it was Max, and now with Max going down, a lot of single shot brawlers that she typically didn't or does well into. Less Max, more single shot. More single shot means we still play this game of chess that we call Brawl Stars, and that means Mr. P is going to show up more and more. With the shield gear, he crosses over 6,000 health points or gets really close to it, and now tanks are harder to pull off in the current state of the meta too, something that typically does well into Mr. P. We see Tara, Shelly running around, so less tanks, better odds in Mr. P, and you even saw him first pick it. That is a pick people would not have dared to take with the first overall beforehand, and now they're openly doing it. They're letting the other team have 2 selections to try and counter it, and they have the Penny, which has some piercing shots, and I am still not wavering too much for Mr. P specifically. I love the Gus pick as well, but that's just kind of the world, a little detail, maybe more than you asked for, but short, more single shot brawlers, more Mr. P.
Perfect dive in. More single shot brawlers, and I think the HP thing is a good point. In a world sans tanks, you know, 6,000 HP is pretty dang tanky. So We got the Mr. P and the Gus and the Brock here together, and going up against them, we'll see the RT show up, which does a ton of damage for sure. And Sprout in the right lane will be going up against that thrower of Mr. P. So thrower v thrower. Nobody with the advantage over there. Semi-recent change to bounty as well as the 20 cap. I guess it's been a couple of months now, 2 months, but without that monthly final last time around. So our second monthly final with the new rule. I think we've only seen 1 or 2 games though go the distance. This is still, when the change first came out, I think we saw a little bit more aggression, but the reversion to the more passive play, especially here in North America, is what to be expected in bounty.
I think so too, and especially with that 20 cap, you know, it's something that pro players often aren't going to hit. Maybe in our more casual games at home where people are willing to be more reckless, aggressive, it's a lot more calculated at this level. So Chasmic Gaming and Canadian Rejects, I imagine, likely not to hit that threshold. But with less than a minute to go, no kills going down. I will say Canadian Rejects in a tough spot right now. No blue star over on their spawn side. That's definitely not where you want to see some long distance brawlers like Elite and ZB. RBM now picking up a kill as well. Respawn coming in from Elite, and they find themselves down 3-0 here with 45 to go.
Z barely alive, but still alive. Only kill gone the way of Chasmac Gaming. RBM and Juan Carlos now, the only players with kills so far. Good shots onto RBM, but not enough DPS. As Z can find the kill. Counting down from 22 now. We see the coalescence of Canadian Rejects on the right-hand side. Sprout wall down, new wall up. Kenny, they got a dozen. Can they make it happen?
Tough spot to be in with 10 seconds to go. Z forced to move up left-hand side. Penny turret on the ground. 5 to go, and Toast looking to throw down some shots. Even has the super available if he needs to enter the Jackie form, and it won't matter too much. 5-0 here, and Chasmic Gaming are now on match point.
Just a little bit of hesitation on the side of Canadian Rejects right there. Sometimes we see teams jump in with like 20 seconds to go. Then we see teams jump in with just over a little bit of 10 seconds to go. That's kind of why I handed it off to you with 12 seconds. I expected them to really jump in there between the 8 and 10 second mark, but instead, they didn't. And Canadian Rejects wind up with no kills. Definitely need to see some more aggression, some calculated aggression, but definitely need to see some more aggression this time around. Worth noting, Island Boy now on the left side going up against RBM.
I think that's exactly what RBM is going to want as well, especially if they get those porters down. Island Boy is going to have a tougher time with the piercing shot that Penny has. Juan Carlos playing these angles to perfection as well. Grabbed the kill there moments ago, and it's going to be rotating these Sprout walls in and out. Less visibility, more room for Chasmic Gaming to move up this map, and Elite taking some heavy fires. C falling down as well. 5-0, and Toast and his teammates have already matched the score that they put up in game number 1.
Still over a minute to go. So a lot of Brawl to be played just yet. A little bit of a push forward here, thanks to Mr. P, but not a lot of follow-up. And that seems to be the problem here for Canadian Rejects. They find a little bit, and then Chasmac back off correctly, and Canadian do not follow forward. So, unfortunately for them, still killless and scoreless with just over 30 seconds to go.
It's a lot easier to back off when you've got all the stars in your pocket too. They've got the blue star. They're the only ones with kills, and there are those porters, which again can be really valuable, but RBM gonna at least be an option to take it down. It's still gonna take him a couple shots every time. Another kill for Toast flanking right. Z low HP, doesn't have a bubble on hand, so it's gonna be 12-3 now. Chasmic Gaming simply running away with this one right now.
12-3, only a single kill on Canadian Rejects' side. This is their moment. They don't push forward. Chasmac Gaming take a handful, and they take the match. We'll see you in finals.
Well played. Two of the favorites there. Fade giving us a nice glance into the camera too. Good to see you, brother. Congrats on the win. Just making it a little more up close and personal for all the people at home. This is the team that we expected to win, right? All due respect to Canadian Rejects. They were an underdog coming into this one, but they're a very solid team. I'm excited for them in future months too. Somebody that recently banded together. Z and the boys. Great roster, and hoping for the best in them in the future too.
I'm very glad you were nice to them, because I'm not going to be. Just stepped over by Chazmag Gaming. This was really just impressive stuff out of CMG. I don't really have that much negative to say across the way because it's just all positive here for me, for the black and yellow. Chazmag put on maybe a record performance in Brawl Ball. Their drafts look fantastic. I think really this last one, we can talk about there just wasn't an answer to, what's his name, to Juan Carlos. This Sprout was consistently the kill leader, consistently just dominating, and there was no answer. This unbreakable wall here, maybe you have to have Mr. P deal with it. Listen, I'm not the coach. I don't have the answer, but neither did Canadian Rejects. And that's why Toast, RBM, Juan Carlos, and Fade wind up on the good side.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, I mean, Juan Carlos ends up being the kill leader there too. I think something coming out of Sprout being a kill leader really reflects how strong of a set that he played. Not too often he's going to be your top fragger. So yeah, again, can't really get nitpicky with Chazmag Gaming, right? There's nothing that went wrong. They never faced any moments of questionable losses. It was just smooth sailing. And we'll give the MVP vote over to RBM. Super well played. All 4 brawlers for this side making an appearance here. And again, just a good team victory. We'll see if they can be challenged a little more in our grand finals.
Great stuff out of Chazmag Gaming, taking down their opposition and heading to the finals. Now, next up, we've got Tribe Gaming versus Moto Mommies. We're going to be right back after a brief break with that semifinal. very, one of the first times we've seen her. An interesting projectile is what I'll say.
Yeah, and an uncommon selection as well. Just in rates, not the most popular, but Motomami's coming in with this pick, I think does accentuate some sort of confidence from the guys, because this is against their tradition. They're also going to go for Hank, so the two newest brawlers in the game are their selections. And while this wouldn't be super shocking in previous months, I will say that Hank and Maisie are feeling relatively balanced right now. Hank's still a little bit strong, but now with these two brawlers on their side, they're looking to do something very new, maybe something that Tribe Gaming aren't expecting. And if this is a strategy that Motomamis are engaging with, I'm here for it. This is a tried, tested, and true strategy specifically against Tribe, where they can sometimes be a little bit behind on the draft. They always have the mechanics on point, and they are region leaders. Maybe in the larger NA arena, some of the most mechanically gifted players. In terms of drafts, though, that's where they usually fall short.
I mean, this is what this is like my quintessential, you could, you know, write it in ink, so to speak, about Tribe Gaming, is that they are going to play the meta just probably better than you, right? But how do you become the absolute number one? You got to find an answer to that meta. And other teams semi-frequently do find an answer to Tribe's perfection of the meta, so to speak. I actually like this Dynamite pick, and I think it is relatively normal, so to speak, given what the competition needs, etc. Just a lot of damage on the side of Tribe, whereas the Hank is going to add some area control and really denial. See that damage being dished out to Eslivy, able to go through the wall and pop the player on the left-hand side. Problem is, Zulon finds the damage after the fact as well. And so it's none to none. No scoring opportunity there.
I was all for Eslivy on that Dynamite on the left lane, and I still would be, but he's going to be switching over to the right side, maybe denying Zeus. Got to be careful to play around some of these unbreakables, since Zeus can bust through some of these breakable walls. Still kind of inching forward on the right side. Zulon has to stick close by to opposite.
Look at this!
Right. Killer going for the big kill. Now a 2v3 ensues. Almost a scoring opportunity there as Luffy tried to pop.
What do you do?
Use it. Zeus almost able to get that ball. Killer picks it up and walks it right between Zulon's legs. That's goal number 1 for Motomamis.
That's what I envisioned happening when I saw the Hank selection.
Yeah.
Just, what do? You just have him blowing a bubble right in the middle, and you're destined to take more than half your HP here. The answer is kill everyone else. Tyrant scores from the 25-yard line pretty much, because everyone but Killer was dead.
That's a combo. It's pretty deadly when you have Shelly on your side. You have the super to combine and break open that wall with good timing. Stun everyone, too. They really can't get in your way unless they have that spawn shield. Eslivy also taking a lot of damage around the left side. Killer is in for a fun time. Easy kills onto Eslivy. Now gets to kind of walk things forward. Also play around these unbreakables versus Tyrant. He's pinched right in the middle. He's voluntarily doing so, and even manages to walk away with his super as he now receives a pass on the left side. And if his teammates can get him in a good position, he will be able to combine this with his super and get yet another pretty easy goal.
And Tyrant already brought down to half. Luffy with good shots here. And Killer on the right-hand side this time around. Zeus on the stew trying to deal with Tyrants. Wow! Shot from downtown! And Eslivy scores it just like that. Always got to have somebody in the way of the goal. What a save! And Eslivy makes game 1 happen.
Well done for Tribe Gaming. Yeah, no save spotted for these guys. Good use of breaking open the walls. Let the wall break strat from both Eslivy and Tyrant. It avails them a lot of possibilities for how to score these goals. And for Motomamis, they actually do have some good ideas over here. Zeus can break open walls. Luffy can get that knockback. Killer is actually kind of bullying Eslivy on the left side. There's the kill. It's just a trade as Zulon gets a similar takedown. Tyrant on the right side tried to farm up his super after popping that earlier one, maybe to get himself that goal. Didn't quite work out in his favor, but thankfully Zulon was able to peel a bit of control for him still. Not going to see Tyrant walking away from that one alive and healthy. Killer also falling, but the play is on the right side. Zeus and Luffy just work to maintain control to let Hank respawn.
Well, Hank mid's not going to work, boys. Hank needs to have some sort of obstruction to allow him to do his cheese, pretty much, right? Like, he's not going to have much success if surrounded by nothingness. And so Luffy's here to provide a little bit of surround on the left-hand side while Killer deals with the unbreakable walls and deals damage over them. Luffy trashes forward as Livy held alive by 1 hair of HP, and Zeus not there to confirm the deal. So because of that, offenders down, defenders win the moment. And the respawn's coming out. About 1:10 to go. Both teams reset.
Wonderfully played here from Livy in particular, because he's landing those satchel charges actually fairly reliably, getting the important stuns on a killer, getting some important moments for his team as well. Ball on the right side, Killer at risk of falling. Tyrant just trying to stay away from this bubble, and Killer's making great use of the geography of this map to stay safe and sound. Tribe Gaming know that as long as they keep him pinched, though, he won't be able to make any serious plays. Zeus on the left side also might be able to go for something pretty large. He has that super in hand. Tyrant's trying to keep the range. Take down of the ego, Zealand's able to replenish it. Killer still trying to inch things forward on the right side. No goals scored just yet. 30 seconds till they all break down, lest someone score. This could be it. Tribe Gaming now with a 3v3, quickly turning into a 3v2, a 3v1, an easy one down the right. And Tribe Gaming with 20 seconds of the clock lead by 1 goal.
Fantastic job there by Tribe Gaming to find that open in the mid. And now with 14 seconds to go, Motomamis have to make the play right now. Hank on the left-hand side falls down. Zeus here, right side, falls down as well. No chance to survive. Make your time. Tribe Gaming take the game and the set. And we'll see you on Hot Zone.
Awesomely impressive gameplay. I think I want to say in particular from Livy on the Dynamite, I thoroughly enjoyed watching that. And part of it's because you don't really see him that much in comp, especially when there's not a thrower on the enemy team. But I think it was a wise selection. He played it well. He got those satchel charge stuns when he needed to, when it was really valuable for his team, and made good calls as far as the lane switches. I would say adventurous draft for Motomamis. I can see how it might work, but Tribe Gaming, as they usually do, outplay. I would say it's debatable who had draft in this situation, but the verdict is the same, is that Tribe Gaming simply had the better plays. And
so, while we get a chance here, I really like the Hank and Stu. I'm never going to dislike Stu on one of the more exciting players in the region, right? Zeus is going to land the shots and walk around. The Maisie left some to be desired. Can you educate us a little bit on why you think Motomamis went the Maisie direction?
My primary thought here is that Maisie, she has a dash, first and foremost. That's always good util, but really it comes down to that super. You're able to stun enemies out of the way and possibly get a combo for a goal. Number 2 is that you're able to compete at similar range to, say, Lola. And even though you're not too valuable at close range because your projectile takes some time to speed up, you're still able to compete relatively well at long range. She does some pretty serious damage with max range on her attack. So I understand why Maisie was selected here. It didn't work out. Cool. Next, let's see what they got in store for Ring of Fire.
Well, we got a bunch of friends hanging out in the water, and we got a bunch of people. 49% of folks, we asked you guys earlier, and 49% of you think Tribe is going to win this monthly finals and be the first team in North America East to do just that. Ring of Fire is here, and our picks are bans and are out. No Squeak, no Amber. Very, very important note. A lot of area denial there. No Penny, just a permanent pick pretty much. And no Tara, who also has been stepping up recently as far as pick rate is concerned due to some recent shifts. And with that said, Big Z locks in Mr. P.
Love to see this guy. He's really frustrating to deal with a lot of times. He counters out some sharpshooters, single target, brawlers, and also good for blocking off things like pulls and the like. So a lot already said here with this first pick. It's kind of the ideal first pick here for Tribe Gaming. It avails them a lot of different things that Motomamis would not be able to play because it's countered. But already in with the Lu, this is pretty characteristic of Motomamis FA. They'll typically put Luffy on the Lu, but we've seen it switch up from time to time. It's a tested strategy. Really the deal, though, from Tribe Gaming, though, is they're going to have to think about how they're going to outrange Lu, or are they going to pick up something like a Stu that can simply not get hit? There's the bell, and I think that's going to be their approach for playing it.
Lu, Hot Zone, one of my favorite combos. I just think it's correct. And I mean, like, listen, there are answers, there are better brawlers, sure. But you're telling me I can put down a circle the size of the circle I'm supposed to stand on? I'm down, dude. I have lizard brain. That just makes sense to me. And so what they pair with the Lu is of ultimate importance because of how he really I'm not going to say he doesn't do anything else, but he is very much super-centric. And so the Eve and the Ruffs definitely have to do a lot of the dirty work here. Ruffs can certainly do so. Eve, important on that Ring of Fire. You see those two arrows of water? Eve does not. And so that's a big point for sure. Tribe Gaming, on the other hand, a little bit more straight to the point. We're just going to kill you, okay? And can't disagree with that.
Not at all. I mean, I really think the idea here is like we'll put Tyrant or Zulon on the left or right lane. Maybe have Tyrant start off on that right lane. It'll be a little bit easier for him to fight since he has a lot of bushes to work with. Then penetrate enemy backline, send Tyrant back there. Have Zulon just, you know, kind of ding around, have some fun with the Mr. P. We'll see what ends up working out for Tribe Gaming. But Motomami's FA, they have a tall task on their hands. Killer on the left side, gonna have to face off like Tyrant, sort of what we were predicting. And he's gonna go for the clay pigeons immediately. Try and break open some of these walls that would keep them safe from his Livy. He's already taking names. Down goes Luffy at mid. No super at all. And a whole lot of nest eggs littering the hot zone.
That's going to be a big deal here for Luffy, is actually getting that super. I said this brawler is super-centric, and I stick to it, but you got to get it first and foremost. And then you have to work as a team. Luffy has the super, obviously, falls down. I'm not that concerned. Motomamis need to step up with the respawn and then make the move together. That said, Tyrant in their hair on the left-hand side. Luffy super comes down. Where's the rest of the team? Tribe Gaming's forced off ready set. But Motomami's doesn't step on ready set. Please! Oh.
Well, this is their chance. I mean, Zeus has thrown down the bags now. They're short-lived, but at least it gives some time for Luffy to throw down that aggro super on the middle lane. Tyrant also equipped with the super and the clay pigeons. There's a single log remaining to keep himself safe, but he's already approaching Killer on the right side. The speed gear combined with Shelly already having very fast speed makes her so deadly once you get into enemy territory. Zeus is also marked up by that mark on the left side. A good kill for Luffy, and a bit frantic too, but he has a super, and they gotta move now. Luffy falls, and this is chalked now. Tribe Gaming, they're gonna be taking game number 1 here in Hot Zone, and the spins and the pins from Zulon already. I mean, that's 3 wins in a row, sure, buddy, but you gotta slow down.
Says you. I want more, Big Z. Come on, man. Let them know. Let the people know. That, listen, you earned it. I really like this because we broke down the strategy and we were like, all right, Tribe's just going to kill you. Correction, Tyrant's just going to kill you. We have Bell and Mr. P on the point, and then Tyrant's job is to just play offensive defense, sit outside of the point, and shoot whoever comes near. At a certain point, you got to appreciate the simplicity of it.
It is very simple. I mean, it was kind of predictable off the beginning, right? Seeing Tyrant head up that left lane. Now he's approaching the right side. We've seen Motomamis also switch up their sort of lane composition as well. Clay pigeons on the right side. Gonna work out all right for Tyrant. He might be able to finish off that kill. The last shot coming in. Luffy also quite vulnerable. Just in range of Tyrant. A good pinch between himself and his Livy. And Zeus remains alive on the left side, but possibly not for long. He's thrown down those bags to give himself a bit more resiliency, but they don't last long. Not versus Zulon with the splash damage, and not versus his Livy either. He's taking names. Tyrant taken down by the hatchlings on the back lines, but the remainder of the team, Motomamis, now push on to the point and get their first bit of capture.
Zeus drops down. Well, he drops down. That's all he really does. Killer with the respawn. And the spawner's killed just as quickly as it shows up. Tribe Gaming have the upper hand here. Motomamis, if they're trying to fight their way in here, obviously it's going to come by way of Lu super. But what else can they do to get in here ready? Because this seems Tribe's all the way home.
Honestly, I think that's basically the only way, is move in, and maybe it could help if they were able to take down the Mr. P turret on the left side, but I just don't see that happening. There's simply not enough time. Tribe Gaming are looking so dominant. Motomami's FA kind of have a 2-man push coming in. Tribe Gaming have a third coming back. Tyrant looking to establish some more sponginess at mid, some good dodges as well. The guys can't seem to hit the guy, but now with all of that freezing ice on the arena, costs him a little bit more time. Just 3% remains. Good taps from his Livy. And that's going to be it. Tribe Gaming, they take set number 2, 4 games in a row, sweeping their way through this match.
Another decent idea coming out from Motomamis, but just not enough to bring it home. Tribe Gaming just push their buttons real good. Sorry to simplify things, but they do a great job of just brawling out. I think there probably were some things that we could tinker with the draft on the side of Motomamis. Again, I'm a Lu believer, but you gotta have the right people flanking him, providing that DPS. I'm not sure that happened. So unfortunately for them and their fans, Motomamis fall down again. Tribe Gaming take this one easily and find themselves one set away from finals.
I'll provide like the Western take on how this works. You have the lane by lane matchups, and Lu into anything that outranges him is not going to be good. Lu into anything that's able to dodge his barrage of shots is not going to be very good either. So this is where Tribe Gaming won, basically by selecting Mr. P, if you ask me. They have that Mr. P early on. It's going to counter out basically anything that is long range. It lets them get Bell for themselves. They're able to outrange Lu. That's a good draft from Tribe Gaming, although it is quite simple. But they're playing what they practice. They're playing some of the same brawlers too. We see Tyron on the Shelly once again. Love to see it. And he played it well. 10 kills for the guy as he easily got to the back lines, just sort of wove his way back there and kept on getting kills. But a whole lot of damage for his Livy too. Let's not forget that.
Tyron Star just played gatekeeper essentially, especially in game 1. Game 2, we saw a better shot from Motomamis to deny that, but yeah, Tyron was just like, get past me, I dare you, and nobody double dog dared him, so. Oh well, 2 in the pocket there for Tribe Gaming. Gem grab coming up next. Crystal Arcade is going to be the spot where we play. Motomamis have a lot of climbing to do. And if they do wind up winning this set, then we'll head out to Shooting Star and play some Bounty. All right, ready. Bitstream, Poco Loco, or the other game? Which one do you want to play the most? Poco Loco is definitely a music game, and I love those games, so I'm all in.
I'll go for the Poco Loco with you. I mean, it seems like a 2-person game, right? Like, yeah. So someone's got to be on the guitar. I don't know what the other instrument might be.
I'm Poco, you're Loco. It all makes sense.
I'll go Loco on the percussion.
Picks and bans here for Crystal Arcade, and we're still not banning Shelly. Got it. Cool. First pick Shelly for Tribe Gaming. That's what we're doing here, folks. Sandy is banned out alongside the Mr. P. And there was one other one that I wanted to note. So Motomamis, all 3 of these kind of like big area guys, Sandy, Ems, and Squeak. That's what I wanted to note. So Motomamis certainly either afraid of that or really want to be careful about mid control is what I'm taking away from those band selections. And so picks, we've got the first pick, Tara, across the way from Shelly and Gus.
I think it's pretty wise that Motomamis have selected these as their bans, especially when you consider across the way that Tribe Gaming, they've gotten rid of Colonel Ruffs. He's so good for breaking open those side lanes, and if you get rid of him, then that allows you to play the M's. It allows you to play the Sandy and the like. The Chester is another one that makes me question things a little bit, but this is on brand for Motomamis. We already saw them go for the Maisie and the Hank. They're bringing some new things to the table. Tribe going with what's tried, tested, and true. So Motomamis are employing the kind of like Tribe Gaming killer TM tactic, where you play stuff that is a little unexpected.
Just play stuff you hope they haven't scrimmed against is kind of the idea.
Yeah.
Max is selected here, and while Tribe goes ahead and gives their last selection. Reddy, why don't you give us the breakdown? What does Chester bring? What is he supposed to do in this comp? And why is it going to give Tribe a problem?
Look, I mean, if you ask me, Chester does just about 2 things well. First of all, you have the star power that gives you 4 bells on the last shot. That's number 1. You do a lot of damage with that at close range when you hit all of them. Number 2 is that he has the funny He-Who gadget, or rather super. He can stun you for a good amount of time, but you're really you're literally rolling the dice, maybe even running the gadget to do that.
Yeah, that's big. I think you run the gadget.
Yeah.
It's really hard to rely on RNG in a competitive environment. If it is relying on RNG, usually the professional approach is to minimize the variance or play around the variance, and I just don't see a way to do that with Chester's kit. So I think you opt in for the must. But a lot of questions for me on the Jester selection. We'll see how it works out. That said, Tara is a top tier brawler at the moment, so we'll see how it all goes. First gem goes the way of Motomamis, and the second. And Max killing Tyrant? Just kidding. Couldn't find him before the heal up. Killer finds that last hit. And so does Luffy. And so just like that, it's 3-1 mid-control to Motomamis.
Very ideal lane matchup for Motomamis right off the bat, and I think they might have gotten a little bit lucky here. You have Tara on that Shelly lane. She's able to block up a lot of those shots with the shades, and Tyrant actually played this really well, but in the end, the team comms from Motomamis were good. Zeus was able to get the pinch in the end. Luffy also not going to be in good close range with Tyrant, so we'll see if Tribe Gaming opt for a lane switch. Killer's going to pop the next round of shades, and here's the stun as well. Tyrant heals up with the Band-Aid, though.
Boom, boom.
It's a good call and a kill on a killer on the left side. Zeus still manages to clean up, but what's more important is that things have been opened up at mid for just a moment longer for his Libby to pick up 6 gems. A 2-gem lead, though marginal, is huge for Tribe Gaming.
Very, very big, and I think that's a big mark. Something that newer players sometimes get a little lost in is how important an early game lead is, not just in gem grab, but across game modes. And a lot of times we see these strong teams sort of like sit back and watch and then surge forward and find a big jump. And that's what we see Tribe Gaming doing, trailing up until 5th or like the 10th gem, and then grabbing all 6. And right now, it doesn't look like Motomamis have a chance to combat this countdown. And with 10 in the hand for his Libby, him and his balloon just gonna stand still. Game 1 to Tribe, match point.
Could be another sweep coming in, this time with Tribe being the victor. It's not exactly the outcome that I expected, but Motomamis, they have had some trouble lately. I absolutely have to commend them, though, on the creativity. They seriously are trying some new things, and we saw some good plays in there, too. I want to point out in particular the Tara that we saw in the left lane versus Shelly. And will we see the lanes laid out differently this time? No, not at all. Tyrant seems to be comfy on that matchup, and power to him. Let's see how he does it. Zeus already has to abandon ship, taken down by the Clay Pigeons. Right down the right side of that bush. Tyrant with another easy kill on the left. And Tribe Gaming, they are seriously building up momentum here.
Yeah, just a little bit more aggressive. As it's 5-0 this time around. You know, I like the Hank Mazy nonsense. I don't like the Chester. I think you can kind of outplay yourself a little bit, and I think that's what the free agents wound up doing here. A little bit of a rough time in gem grab, as it is 6-1. 2:41 on the clock. All right, I really just wanted to force a real big fish reference for all 2 people that get it. But we're out here, already set with a lot of time on the clock, and Tyrant is just owning this front line.
You say a lot of time on the clock. Oh, there's a he-who. They managed to stop Tyrant in his tracks for just a moment, but he's still coming around the backside, trying to take some names. Once again, Zeus might be able to finish off the kill. Tyrant's still alive in their spawn, even with the super to take him down. And rotates towards the top side. Luffy's going to go for it again. No explosion damage there. Killer also falls, and Tribe Gaming now get to run it back. 10 seconds on the clock. 2 guys to kill. Luffy can get some damage in here. Zeus also closes around the right. Don't want to get in close range versus Tyrant, but you don't have a choice now. 2 seconds remain. Tyrant has to fall and gets taken down with a countdown interruption. As Livy might also fall to the poison from Chester's super.
And he
All
does!
Gems are safely on the backside, though. Tyrant won't be able to be as aggressive. He has to defend these gems, rather. Motomamis, they still get a horse in this race. They might be able to steal this one.
You know what? After all that complaining, it's Chester's super that actually causes Motomamis to actually be here.
No.
Another attack. Tyrant has 98 HP, but Zeus can't find it. Yeah, I feel that, brother. So close, but so far. Motomamis, another surge forward. And if they find this kill in 1 second, not gonna happen. Tribe Gaming, another fantastic performance for them in the semifinals. And because of that, we'll see them versus Chazmac in the grand finals.
Man, I wanted to see more happen with the Chester. I was so excited once I started to see some of those supers come out. Even though it is random, if you get the luck of the draw, you get the stun, some valuable stuff in there, then you can really, really make it work. I enjoyed this thoroughly, watching the Chester play. I think maybe if he'd gotten like a few more wall breaks, then we could have seen some different stuff happen, a few more stuns. We only saw 2 over the course of the entire set. That said, Tribe Gaming managed to end these games off relatively quickly, and for cause for that, look no further than Tyrant. This guy was going nuts. He seems untouchable a lot of times too. Dude's been grinding the Shelly. Tribe Gaming for a long time. This was not their meta. They didn't play the aggro brawlers, they played the control. And now they've adapted to the meta, and they've also started to bend it to their own will. They've taken complete ownership of it. Tyrant, he's played Shelly every single set so far. Hopefully, Chazmek was taking notes.
Dude, I mean, this was, I mean, it's just Tyrant unleashed, to be completely honest with you. Like, I don't know what the conversation was, so I'm making this all up, but you know, they had a game plan, and then it was just finally like, whew, all right, Tyrant, you're allowed to play the aggressive characters. And he was like, what? And now we just see numbers like this all the time. Like, when Tyrant's hot, he is one of the better players in the region, period, and arguably worldwide. He just really, he consistently puts up big numbers like this. And you know what? The man does what he does. I talked to the guys a little bit about, you know, who's the minds behind the draft, and Tyrant was like, I don't ever take part. I just hit my buttons. I just kill people. I just get MVP. And he does that just like that, thanks to your votes at event.brawlstars.com. My man Tyrant, #1 by far on the field so far.
I mean, if I'm drafting for Tyrant, then I'm telling him to draft the Shelly every single day of the week. That was a treat to watch.
He literally did, by the way.
Literally, yes, every single time. So I don't know, maybe there's a job opening over the Tribe Gaming team, because I can do that. I can tell him to play Shelly every time.
Well, I mean, I could also tell teams to ban Shelly, so I'll take that job opening as well. Like, I can, come on, man. Kenny, why didn't they ban the Shelly?
I don't know how many times we got to teach people this lesson, bro. It's 89% win rate on the weekend. Shelly Stars continues. It's unbelievable. She is in a great state for the esport. You got to run it, and if you're not running it, you got to ban it. And Tribe Gaming makes some easy decisions and take advantage of it there. Tribe Gaming, CMG, a rematch of last month. They made it look easy in the semifinals, a little too easy. I think it just goes to show they might be on a tier of their own in this region for now.
Well, no tiers for Chazmak or Tribe as they find themselves in the grand finals against each other. And CMG, I have them taking it all, to be completely honest with you. And I'll tell you right now, I think the grand finals will revolve around Shelly. Either banned, first picked by either team, dealt with by either team. There's a lot of stuff going on here. But looking at how dominant Tyrant was on this Shelly, looking how centric those Tribe drafts were around the Shelly, and of course Chazmak played the Shelly as well, I think for this moment, in this competition, in this region, that might be the case. We got these two teams going head-to-head, and Chazmak, Tribe, these guys are going to take the field. Listen, I went with the Chazmak prediction, so I'm going to make you two cast the match. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I don't know if that's fair, but it is what we're going to roll with. And again, I think CMG is more than fair to go with as well. I don't blame anyone in the chat for rolling with them. They're a fantastic team. We saw them pop off on this map earlier, and last month defeat Tribe on this team, or on this map already. I think we're both with Tribe. For me, it's a little bit safer of an option. I was just really impressed with them at the international level.
Hey, look, I think in the Chazmak-centric discussion, it's got to be like, let's see these guys pop off, right? I hear what F.Dot's saying, and I actually agree. Like, if Chazmak are able to bring the same fire that they did in previous months, that one time versus Tribe Gaming where they managed to finish things off strong, then I think they could take it today. But for consistency's sake, I go with Tribe.
Also this. Listen, we gave all the points in the world to Stamina. With Na'Vi won their first monthly finals through by having the squad together, being able to talk to each other, etc., be in person. This matters. If you've ever played literally anything at a competitive level, this actually matters. Does it win the set? Absolutely not. But I do think Chazmak level up a little bit by hanging out here. I know Toast isn't there, but I do think this actually really matters, seeing the three guys in the building at the same time. So that might give him a couple extra points. Tribe Gaming, Zulon is Libby, Tyrant, and of course, Corey elsewhere. we just watched them do that, so I don't know how we can say about this squad. They are really just that strong. They wind up getting these dubs. Motomamis are a strong team. Zeus is a really prolific player, and Tribe Gaming made them look like none of that was true. And I think that's definitely something to take note of.
I think so too. I was really impressed. I mean, I think Motomamis are a little bit a step ahead, even above Canadian Rejects. After all, these guys have won a monthly finals already this year. A great team. And again, 3-0. Tribe making it look way too easy. I don't know if that's a draft thing, a confidence thing after the international level. Whatever they're doing, I want a piece of it though. And for that reason, I think Tribe Gaming have a great chance as well to win this.
Certainly could be. I think realistically, all right, ready, set, check. 50-50 might. 50-50 is what I'm tossing. Make the adjustment appropriately.
I mean, okay, it's going to be a lot different from what you're saying. Chazmac, cover yours right now. I'm going to say it's 80-20 for Tribe Gaming.
Really?
I really think it's quite. Yes, I do. Tribe, I mean, look, when we look at, say, the Snapdragon Pro Series, those Open Cups online, Tribe Gaming, they've been doing so well. They've met Chazmac Gaming several times and kind of dumpstered them. So that's what I'll stand by. I really expect the Tribe Gaming win here. I'm always rooting for Chazmac Gaming's come up, though, dude. It's endemic organization to the sort of
okay.
Brawl stars, whatever.
Cool. Hey Kenny. I'm gonna go ahead and say like, okay. I'm gonna say 50-50. Adjust that appropriately.
Yes, sir. I would go more closer to 60-40 Tribe. I think 20, especially considering how close this has been throughout the first set, or for the first part of the season. I mean, it's been neck and neck the whole way. Multiple match points, even with Chazmac Gaming lost. And to me, this vote is not enough love for Chazmac Gaming. Again, I am picking Tribe. I am with the people at home for the most part. But Chazmac Gaming, I think, deserve a lot of love as well. They have actually done the thing. They've won it once. I think coming off hot of an international, I'm going to go with Tribe here for the momentum, for what I've seen with my own eyes. You know, the big stage is where it happens, and I think they deserve a little more love. So we'll agree to disagree. I mean, me and Reddy still both rolling with Tribe, but F-Dot nonetheless, that's where I'm thinking.
That works. You guys roll with Tribe. I'm going to roll to the couch and watch this set. The picks and bans are already flying through, guys. You got grand finals. I'll see you on the other side.
Yes, sir, brother. Great job as well. And again, we'll see if F-Dot, the lone man going with CMG on the desk, can get this one right. I think it's going to be tough, though, like you alluded to, Reddy. And to start off the draft here on Parallel Plays, no Shelly allowed for either side, understandably so. I think we have to see that ban keep rolling through, especially if you don't have that first overall pick.
Yeah, I'm definitely liking some of these bans in here. Sam, the final selection from CMG already. This is pretty characteristic of the guys. You put RBM on the Sam, you watch him go and see what he does. But Tribe Gaming have the opportunity to counter. I mean, if anything, they kind of already do have sort of a counter. They have B, but having B reliably shutting things down on the right side is, I think, going to be kind of tough, since RBM can still sneak up and use some of those obstacles to his advantage. Tyrant also on that Stu is going to be a decent counter, but since he has so much speed, Sam is still going to be a pretty formidable opponent. They might have to go for the triple tank counter.
Yeah, they may have to just triple down. I mean, Sam is somebody I don't really foresee being like a huge defensive threat necessarily. And now with Gale on the field too, not only is he my favorite brawler, but this is a little interesting that this is the choice that they roll with, especially when other tank counters have been significantly more prevalent, right? But I do think Gale has some merit here, at least historically. They can either roll with the slowdown star power, or they can go with the stun. I think the slowdown right now is super frustrating to go against. I think they're just going to sit Gale back on their home zone, hold off on defense, and just keep RBM away. They know how seriously they have to take RBM in this brawler. One of the best tank players in the region, always pops off in these spots, and they're going to pick their choice here of Gale to be the one to defend. We'll see if they can do it successfully here. It's going to be Chazmac Gaming in A versus Tribe Gaming to kick off our grand finals.
I know you're happy to see the Gale in here, and you know what? It's good to welcome in the old man from time to time, but we got to see the pincher on the right side. Tyrant, he's already sort of supered up to the left side, maintaining his position. Things taken care of on the back right now. as Livy gets to push forward again. Looks like he didn't get any intel that Toast was over there and almost gets taken down. Just 9 health remaining. Thankfully stayed alive. A slow on RBM too. And as long as Gale posts up on the right side, RBM's going to have a real rough time making things forward. Tyrant on the left also a lot to deal with. Toast has a huge responsibility here. He has to help RBM get forward. He has to defend the left side and get the pinches all over again. And Tribe Gaming, among all of this, are still vastly in the lead.
Yeah, and they're going to be going down with the freezing snow choice as well. Again, they're going for that slowdown on the RBM. They've been shutting it down pretty successfully so far as Tyrant skates his way down the left side. Push back from Zulon. RBM just struggling. It's a perfect counter, a long lane, and a great shot for Zulon to really shine there. Tyrant's still causing a lot of ruckus on the left as the percentage points are just too overwhelming. They just need to dip their toes into this a little longer as Zulon pushes him back the final 2%. So maybe with too low of HP though to finish it off. So CMG gonna hold off for at least just a little longer.
Well, CMG will be able to get some capture off of this. Thankfully, things are able to rotate over to that right side soon enough. The jump pad is really helping them take control of the right side. Easy pinch on the right. And RBM has to be shut down. He's not quite able to get the kill. Never mind. Gets the kill onto Zulon. And as Livy has to start taking care of him, this could be the comeback for Chazmag Gaming NA. Tribe Gaming, they committed really hard on that left side. And now they're having to pay the price.
Yeah, I'm getting a little nervous for them, if I'm being honest. You know, this could be a perfect defense. They've got the rubber duck playing defense. They've got Tyrant, who goes down immediately and now climbing in percentage points. It's CMG, the launch pad, a good shout as well. Love the choice. Mobility on this map, especially when getting out of your spawn, is so valuable, but they can't send anybody on offense because it's all CMG right now taking over. A double kill here for RBM. Toast assisting as well with his utility and a lone Tyrant. Not enough here to defend. This one is getting very quickly out of Tribe Gaming's pockets. This could be a comeback for CMG if they're not careful. Toast hunkered down, RBM alive and well, and the perfect plays coming in from Chazmag Gaming NA. Game number 1, unexpected result.
Unexpected, unbelievable. I can't believe that just happened, man. Tribe Gaming, they come into this, they're looking so confident. They're looking so amazing. And then CMG managed to rein it all back. Once that mid control was gone and RBM was in position, it was just like clockwork. Toast reliably farming up the supers, providing space for RBM. They made it look kind of easy, honestly. Tribe Gaming, they were frequently filtering out of spawn, and RBM just does his thing. Walk forward, take a kill, maybe get some healing from the super next. But Tribe Gaming, they almost started this one off strong once again. Tyrant tries to catch people by surprise on the left, but Toast, he's being smart about it. He's giving RBM more space on the right side, focusing more on defending the left. Tyrant's still going to be able to walk away from this one, though, and he has the super to make it work. RBM also shifting over for a bit of assistance, but he loses focus at that right side. Tribe now get to capture their own zone, and CMG are also missing a lot of walls on the left side.
Yeah, we're gonna have to replace our segment here. No longer play of the game. It might be just set of the day if they keep it up like this. Tribe Gaming have a lot of work to do as well to hold on to this. They've captured their own zone, but haven't done a ton of work onto the other side. So Fade and Toast still getting those much valued percentage points, and it's going to be a 1% difference maker at the end of the day. Desperately trying to take down old Lobber there as a 2v1 RBM, just putting in work on the right-hand side as this Livy finally takes him down. It's Tyrant's turn, though, to try and get some percentage points for Tribe, and it's just not happening right now. Only 1% gained in that interaction. Zulon blowing RBM away, and we'll hold on a little longer. It's all going to come down to who can get the best offense going for themselves.
I'll put my chips on Tyrant on the left. As long as Fade runs out of these salty barrels early on. Toast also looking to charge up that super. Tyrant's dodging these shots well. And he's farming up the supers quite reliably too. So Chazmag Gaming NA, they don't mind feeding the super to Stu. Got it. On the right side, RBM with this super trying to push forward. Zulon and his Livy are doing their best to defend him. He might be able to reach the heal in time. No, denial from his Livy. But Fade and Toast are now on the case on the right side. Old Lobber down. Zulon jumps over that obstacle too. And it looks like Tribe Gaming might have things under control over here on the right. Tyrant on the left, not going to get caught up by the Sam Gadget. Manages to stay alive, pick up a little bit of control. And no pinch on the right means that Toast gets to grace forward. Chazmag Gaming NA, they take the lead.
They've got the lead, and they've got 2 players on the top right-hand side. That's a lot for Zulon to handle as Livy jumps in as well. The long-range brawler looks to get up close and personal here with RBM. Plenty of HP to work with, even juggling his super to make sure he stays alive a little longer. A dive in from Zulon as well, super available. But remember, he's not running the stun. It's still enough to get the takedown, but now Jussie has utility down as well. It's Chasmic Gaming 87-65, and this time it's going to take a great comeback from Tribe Gaming if they want to win this game, but they're running out of time.
RBM on the sand, he's a force to be reckoned with. Fade and Toast now at his side, and the percentage just keeps counting up. Tribe, they know it's over. That victory in game number 1, it slipped between their fingers, and now the entire set goes to Chasmac Gaming.
Wow, I mean, we kicked off this match thinking something completely different was going to happen. Tribe Gaming, such a great performance, and they take a little leap of faith there, quite literally and figuratively, with the launchpad plays from Gale. It makes a lot of sense. I understand running that tech, but nonetheless, it's something not meta, and I'm sure it's something that they probably have not practiced a ton. Given the circumstance, I think it works, but just so much oppression coming out of Sam there. It's a lot to handle, and oftentimes you got to have 2 brawlers focusing him, or else he can kind of run away with it. I'm really impressed with Chasmic Gaming. That's some real discipline to stay in that, to trust in themselves, and that's just kind of the added benefit of all being in the same room, right? Obviously Toast somewhere else, but nonetheless, this is a team effort that really got put together, and it was insane to watch.
It was ridiculous, and I think really this might be the longest tilting segment that you can possibly muster. It's a 99% comeback. Not going to be a good mindset, I don't think, for Tribe Gaming coming into this one. I mean, they looked a little glum on the player cams, and also coming off that, I mean, sort of throwing in the towel towards the end of that last game, not playing till the very end. Yes, it's pointless, but it's about sending a message, and it's also reflective of kind of the mindset that they are entering set number 2 with. Chasmac Gaming NA, they took advantage of a really hard commitment from Tribe in game number 1, and it totally spiraled into a victory in game number 2. RBM with 14 kills, an MVP in my eyes. Like I said, we just put the guy on the SAM, let him do his thing in a parallel plays match. It's already a win once he's got that SAM.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. I mean, again, he's one of the best to do it. He is a tank at heart. I love always seeing him excel on these brawlers, and he's just continuing to do so, and a big reason why this team has continued to put on insane performances. Over in Heist, though, it's going to be a little bit harder to run those tanks. This isn't a map that always caters to that, but it's certainly possible in the history of this map, especially this year. We've had things like Buzz, Daryl, where you get some, you know, maybe not as much of the Sams, but RBM can still shine here for sure. It's going to be Brock as the overall first selection, a little more of that long-range composition that I pointed out. 8-bit on the other side. 2 very normal brawler selection here, and again, it doesn't matter what map it is. I imagine we are going to see a lot of Shelly Vans here today.
Dude, I mean, this is simply wise for Chasmac Gaming NA to get rid of this brawler. It was such a problem for Tribe's previous opponents in that last round, and yeah, don't let them have it, even if it is safe zone where she might not be like the greatest. You don't want to run those risks. Tribe Gaming, they start things off with an 8-bit. They got to pick up some kind of 8-bit counter if you ask me. They'll go for the Bonnie, and I'd say the Bonnie is... I don't have an opinion on Bonnie into 8-bit is where I'll leave it. B selected on the side of CMG. It's a CMG favorite. They've also gotten the Sam. RBM's just going to go for it today.
I mean, shoot your shot, brother. It worked out in the first one. I'm not going to question the method to the madness if it leads to W's. On the other side, too, I mean, they have 8-bit, they have Bonnie, but once RBM gets up close to either of those guys, you know, Bonnie's kind of forced to either dive in when in the cannon form, not really going to be able to do enough damage to quickly take him down, and when in the Leon form, too low of HP to really deal with RBM. So this might be the overwhelming effort that they need, and it could still work. Again, we pointed out it's been Buzz and Daryl more so for the tankier side of things, but this time they're just gonna run it with Sam. Eve running the spawners here too. Again, RBM gonna be able to deal with the spawners themselves pretty well, but Eve gonna be able to charge up some free supers, and more importantly, gonna do a great job into a single shot brawler like B. So I think the Eve here has a lot of merit, can travel across that water too. I think both sides definitely trying to play these matchups.
I like this last pick. It's pretty much just a restatement of what you said. Iron going to be able to float on that water, going to be charging some reliable supers off of Sam, and then lastly, block off a lot of the shots from Toast. See if it works that way, as Livy's going to try and make it work that way. He was instantly magnetized to RBM on the right side, and now that he abandons ship, Zulon's going to get bullied in close range. It's not a takedown into RBM. In fact, he's even able to retrieve those knuckle busters with the super that he charged up. You don't really see that often from the Sam, but if anyone's going to do it, it better be RBM. A lot of damage on the back line so far. Toast gets to farm up a little bit, but he might be more focused on defending his Livy on the left side. Already, another gotta go from his Livy. Tribe Gaming now possibly pinching in Toast on the right side. RBM's a huge issue for them, though, that they have to address.
Tyrant electing to go for the extra damage firepower, as well as Zulon dives in, pummels Rock, and now they're going to be running away with it. A little bit of a base race for both sides here. Neck and neck going down right now. It's Zulon dishing damage. RBN all by his lonesome up top. Rock trying to play defense, claiming Tyrant there. Toast returning into action. Zulon hiding, though. Honey Molasses pot drops. Zulon, though, getting well worth the effort, but it's not going to matter too much if RBM continues to put in work.
The guy just can't be stopped. He's unleashed, and it looks like CMG, I mean, look, they have a one trick of their own. RBM, he's capable of a lot of things, but he's best at running these aggro brawlers, especially Sam. And they know that if Tyrant's gonna one trick the Shelly, yeah, might want to ban it out. Hopefully Tribe Gaming pick up on the similar vibe and start banning out the Sam in the future sets. Otherwise, this could be spiraling out of their control.
They're going to have to reel it back in here and really focus down RBM. But the problem when that happens is, in the role that RBM fills, is it's going to drive all the attention towards him, leading Fade and Toast into just better positions. It's just, there's no right answer in this situation for Tribe Gaming and Chasma Gaming, almost creating a game that's rigged for themselves. And that's just what the draft can do for you sometimes. But the execution has been perfect so far from RBM as he gets taken down there. 2v2 situation now as Livy returning to action 100% though. On the other side, no damage dealt yet for Tribe Gaming as it's just all offense here from CMG.
Once again, though, Tribe Gaming, if they get one good push in, they could make it work. They're sort of ignoring RBM on the back line. Zulon's going to try and make it through here, deal some damage to RBM in the same go. As Livy taken down, didn't even use a super, and Zulon struggling with the DPS as well. RBM, thankfully, for him, was not able to heal up in time. Tribe Gaming now start to get working the angle on the offensive end. Tyrant has that super. Good start. Work this angle. RBM taken down. This is the opportunity. All of these hatchlings blocking up Toast shots. He's trying to fire around them, but the damage is raining in. 78% remains. Still a distinct advantage for Chasmat Gaming in A. Not quite too much of a counter offense yet.
Still a lot of work to be done here for Tribe, but they do have a build that is meant for doing damage. Now Zulon diving in as well. It's going to be a trade from Toast as Livy still putting in some effort onto that high safe, but now RBM, a big brawler, marching towards his Livy, going to pop the gadget. Get out of jail free card every single time. They put in a great amount of damage there, 56 to 46 now, only 10% being the difference, but they have to gain position here and quickly. Time is definitely not on their side as there's only about 30 seconds left on the clock as Livy with a nice grab there on the left too, so Tribe Gaming will have another opportunity to try and generate some offense.
Not too much time left. Tribe Gaming could really use a super here if they want to lock in their chances. Fade, he also has a super at the ready. As Livy is able to jump away from it, so he's looking for a more prime opportunity. There's that last one. This could be drive time for Fade. Lots of damage on the Tyrant. RBM presses forward. Zulon's going to go for the base race. Lots of damage in. Tyrant and his Livy have to move. 5 seconds remain. Tribe Gaming in the lead, and that is the final mark. They're starting to come back.
That's the kind of stuff we have to see from Tribe Gaming if they want to keep up here. It's a difficult spot to be in. We've seen Sam excel, but that time they were able to hold him down just enough, and it's still a challenge, right? It's something that's going to be on the back of their minds all of the time. They either make the choice to just let RBM do his thing, or they have to try and deal with him. It's not an easy choice, but this time it ended up working out for them here. Game number 3, Chasma Gaming with an opportunity to go up 2-0, or Tribe Gaming could tie things up.
Already jump in from Zulon. There's nowhere for him to really go, though. Could be an easy kill for RBM. There he is. Swipes it up. Tyrant is Livy sort of unfazed, unbothered, as Livy is going to sort of rotate backwards to help out Zulon, get that pinch onto RBM. Of course, he's able to heal up sort of more DPS than Zulon is able to offer, so it's a good call. They managed to farm some supers off of it, too. Got to see the push in soon from his Livy. Needs to fire off some hatchlings, and here they come. RBM can also swipe some of these up. Great positioning from the guy. And Toast has the coast clear to go for some big kills. Another gadget out as Fade almost got the kill shot. Good stuff on the right side too, but Zulon and Tyrant sort of roll with the punches from Sam. Now at the perfect opportunity to get lots of damage on that safe. Just tied up, and now Zulon starts to push things below 70%.
This is good stuff from Zulon until he was shut down by Toast. Now a response coming in from RBM, a little over 1,000, but juggling his super well. It's neck and neck right now as B tries to slide through a shot. Fade can't quite connect the super there. 2% lead for Tribe Gaming here. This one is going to be tough. Both of these sides looking to prove they're the #1 team in NA East, as Zulon looks to put a little more icing on the cake. 41-46 right now, a minute to go on the clock.
This is a desperate moment for Tribe Gaming. They're out of the more significant gadgets in the game. Good Gurky super from Fade to 41% on Chazmat Gaming safe. And a serious 21% advantage so far in their possession. RBM's going to keep up the aggression on the right side, though. Zulon has some DPS, but he's sort of out of luck when it's versus RBM unless he pops out of that cannon. Good kill on a Toast. Here it comes. The defense on RBM. No, not quite. Big punches in, and a final rocket from Fade to send them packing and propel themselves into set number 2.
This has been a great effort from CMG. Impressive stuff so far. You can see it on Fade's face. He is itching to try and win this one, and doing so in the fashion that they're doing it would be crazy. 2-0 here to start things off. I can't say it enough. I'm just impressed, and the SAM has been instrumental in what they're doing here. They're just letting RBM shine. They're picking the same brawler even twice, one that's unorthodox, unregular for any monthly finals that we've seen, any of the scrims that I dug into. This is something that I think they've just been holding on to, and it's certainly working out.
I mean, look, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep on making it work with the SAM, I say, to RBM. Tribe Gaming, they might want to start banning this out. I mean, a lot of it is dependent on what that next mode is, but with these two already behind them, I kind of see Chazmat Gaming being able to make this SAM work just about anywhere. They've already proved their adaptability to modes so far. Tribe Gaming also, it hasn't been all silence on there, and they did manage to get a game victory, but I think the SAM was simply too troublesome for them this time. They got to just suck it up and use one of their bans on the guy.
Yeah, I think they're just going to have to figure something out. That's hard, though, because Sam being a very unmeta brawler and you throw a ban at him, I mean, sometimes you got to play your opponent, but if you're in the Tribe Gaming shoes, that's a tough call to make. But the stats speak for themselves. Another great performance here from RBM, but pretty well-rounded in the kill category for Chazmat Gaming in A. Zulon, worth pointing out, too, puts up some numbers on his own, but on this game mode, if we see, if we see Sam again, I will be shocked. This is knockout. You get 1 life, and that's it, every single round. Now tanks, definitely not out of the question, but if we see him again ready, I'll be shook. There's just no way, right?
I'm going to backpedal a little bit off my previous statement, right? Because, I mean, of all the modes where Sam would be maybe questionable, it's got to be here. Because, like you said, only 1 life, and that's not how we usually see it played. Keep in mind, we are headed into knockout, not safe zone. And, well, if anyone's safe, I think it's Chazmat Gaming in A. They have a 2-0 lead, but they can't get too aggressive. They are going to pull up the Shelly, though, which I think will be useful as we head into the later stages. She has Clay Pigeons, which is very meta for her right now, so she'll still be able to compete at long range. Tribe Gaming, though, they're planning for the end game. Tyrant loves to play this. Pam, we've seen other members of the team also switch onto it, but case in point, they like this brawler and it has a lot of resiliency for when things start to close in towards the end, as that poison forces everyone to go.
Yeah, I'm conflicted on how to feel about these two compositions because it's Shelly. Shelly runs the world right now. Like I mentioned earlier, 89% win rate so far throughout all of our matches here through this weekend. But on the other side, I really like Gus. I like Pam on this map as well. They have so many health points just between those two, and Zulon can dish out an extra with his super. So I think that's one way to build against this Shelly possibly. It's going to take even a few shotgun shots for Shelly to get through that. Healing station as well, especially towards those in-game, can be really devastating towards the other team. But Chazmat Gaming electing to go with something we haven't seen in a little bit here, going with Bo as one of their choices. They pick up RBM's Barley as well, which Barley, much less surprising, but Bo one that I'm a little surprised to see.
Final selection now coming in, Sprout from Tribe Gaming, the ultimate turtle up comp from Tribe Gaming. Maybe with the exception of the Gus, but still we'll be able to save that for the final moments. I think Sprout is also a good response to that Barley. Barley is really, really troublesome behind the Unbreakables, so we'll have to see Tribe Gaming sort of work around that. Sprout's a good all-rounder, doesn't lock in as much reliable DPS as Barley, and it can sometimes be a bit harder to hit your shots, but I'll trust as Livy with the responsibility of playing such a brawler. What I really want to know about, though, from Chazmat Gaming and A is how are they going to execute on the Shelly? I have seen these guys play the bow a bunch of times. Okay, there's nothing really to break down there. It's the Shelly that has my attention locked on who else to play the aggro brawler than RBM.
Gotta do it right. I mean, he's clearly earned that role for his team. One of the most fun parts about watching Chasmic Gaming, especially for this squad, is they all kind of fulfill different responsibilities. And so for RBM, that responsibility is pulling out the shotgun and blasting some foes up close. But don't forget, she has that gadget as well. She needs to go long range. Right now, Tyrant suppressing RBM, though, on this left-hand side as everybody builds up some utility here. RBM punishing him a little bit for it, though. Pops the gadget. No kills going down yet, but especially a professional level knockout, early kills are pretty unheard of. Everybody plays it safe, looking to build up all of those supers, and then at the end game, that's where the chaos goes down.
Well, the hotter topic of discussion is who's going to get that super first, because Tyrant absolutely needs this from when the poison closes in. And he's standing real close to the edge of the map. That poison's bound to close in momentarily. Tribe Gaming still working for these. We'll see the first hedge come down. It doesn't completely block off Toast, but affords him a bit of space to work on Fade. Tyrant also getting blasted in the face. Here's the Mama Squeeze down. A takedown, 2v2 between the two. RBM, Fade, one after the other. No, Fade's still alive. Zulon looks for the final bit of damage, but Fade remains alive. And Chasmac Gaming take the round.
Not only do they survive, but Fade comes into the next one with a super. Toast just put down some mines as well, trying to trip up the enemy here. Pam seemed like a pretty decent response into RBM. They've got the gadget, which really helps into RBM. Of course, the Scrap Sucker going to withdraw some of those shots that RBM can have. But as Livy, haven't mentioned too, but can play this brawler really well. Sprout's somebody that he's certainly used to. We talked about RBM fulfilling that role a lot. Well, Sprout is one of those specialties for his Livy as well, and they're doing it so in a great fashion. It's going to be hard to beat his Livy on such a strong brawler as well, but today RBM and the teammates making it look so good. For now, though, it's actually the blue side being backed away. RBM looking to say something about that, though. They're going to have to be careful. Tyrant daring to move closer. Zulon hanging around as well. Super going down. Bubble being distributed. It's going to be a gadget going down as well. The healing station on the ground. The cutoff from Sprout to the mines, at least keeping them back for now. And a last call to push them away. Thrower battle on the right, while just so much action goes down on the left.
Fade has been filthy on this Barley. He's been avoiding so many of the shots from his Livy, but he's getting tapped up now. Also see the healing coming in. Zulon just barely staying alive. Got to see lots of damage in here, but Toast and Fade are alive and healthy. They're going to be taking the second round and the game win, going on to a match point. Just one win away from sweeping Tribe Gaming in a 3-set match.
That's a sentence that I don't know if I've ever said, Reddy. It's a wild thing to think about. We're in a grand finals, and Chasmic Gaming, again, a fantastic team. They've done it before, but 47% of people at home, I thought it would be Tribe Gaming before the day even started to be the first team to get multiple grand finals in NA East. They're only one game away from losing out on that. Chasmic Gaming NA have put on a show for the people at home here today, and they're looking to do so for one more game to crown themselves monthly finals champions.
Let's see if they're able to execute on it. Tribe Gaming this time, they need to make sure that they don't feed that super to RBM, but it might be sort of inevitable. Already a super for RBM, and Tyrant, that's kind of hanging out to dry. He doesn't have anything to work with once everything starts closing in. Big wall break too, another Clay Pigeons popped, but no value so far. RBM seriously low on health. He's also trying to preserve that band-aid for the later stages of the game, or just for those moments where he sees an opportunity to go aggressive. So far, though, so good for both teams. Maybe less so for Tribe Gaming because they are missing a lot of walls. There's the turret down to RBM at risk of falling. There it is. Toast and Fade only kept alive by the healing medicinal bottles. Toast now going to fall. Fade left alone on the top right. Tribe Gaming managed to take the round.
Yeah, we're just going to have to see Tribe take this one at a time, right? One round is exactly what we needed to see them do to just claw their way back into this one. It's not even about the reverse sweep right now. I think it's just about their legacy, about the dynasty that is Tribe Gaming in this region. Going down 3-0 to any team on the planet is unheard of for them. They had such a strong performance at an international level, and now they come home and maybe the competition in NA is just built a little bit differently. Healing station available for Tyrant. They distribute the Gust Bubble there for a little extra HP. Slowly going to dwindle away. RBM holding on to the super. Fade with the last call available to him. Once again, it's going to come down to the fog closing in.
Tribe Gaming seem to be equipped. Here comes the turret. Mama Squeeze active. Toast trying to dispel it immediately. Fade also chiming in to deal with it. Taken down by the gadget combo from Zulon, and RBM's just barely alive. There's a super as well. A takedown to Toast, and RBM is a one-man army. He's got to finish things off here, and he's avoiding a lot of damage so far, too. Also, have to be mindful. There it is. The gadget combo as well from Zulon. And the match point resides, but it could go into set number 4 as long as Tribe Gaming get this next win.
Quick sip for his Livy, and right back to business. They still got a long road ahead of them, but one game at a time, and that's the first one, and that they really needed to see. Momentum is a crazy thing, and mental a big part of any esport, and Brawl Stars is certainly no exception here. To kick things off, it's going to be Toast actually laning the left-hand side. They're going to send Shelly to the mid. Very interesting choice. Maybe try and catch Zulon off guard with a gadget. For now, it's just going to be Tyrant holding on to the left-hand lane. Big, beefy Pam is a lot to deal with for anyone, and Toast doesn't necessarily have the range to where he can get a quick pickup here. And of course, a continued battle of throwers here on the right-hand side is this Livy playing one of his most iconic brawlers against the Fade Barley.
I will say, though, Fade's doing a remarkable job at keeping him back and also dodging out these projectiles. Even when Overgrowth is active, he seems to be able to dodge these out. But if he's playing at max range, he's bound to get hit by one eventually, still avoiding most forms of damage, and also using medical use to stay alive, ready to spring into action at any moment. RBM, gotta see the exact same for him. Standing just on the edge of the bushes, managing to avoid a lot of the shots from Tyrant, not giving away his position too much, but at the same time, could get stacked out here. Lots and lots of damage, and now the gadget down from Fade. Tyrant sort of left alone, completely surrounded, not taken down just yet. There's the kill, and he's got the healing. Now blasted out of bounds into the poison by RBM, and that's the round for Chazmak.
Tyrant went for gold there, dropped the super in a 2v1 situation. Of course, Pam was equipped to maybe deal with that, but once RBM had that super that pierced through the healing station, that forced Tyrant back into the storm, well, it was a pretty tough thing to come back from. And again, I think they're going to be looking for Pam towards the in-game here to lane up against RBM. They want to make sure they have access to the gadget for Scrap Sucker into RBM, but he's just too darn good. The aggression has been unreal, and now Sniper Shelly on the loose as well. Zulon taking some heavy heat. He's going to have to back away. Has a super available, but holding on for dear life at 750 HP, barely surviving. Toast, RBM, Fade, all with supers now, and things looking very scary for the sides of Tribe Gaming.
So if he has the super, if he's able to push past Fade, they will be able to sort of block off RBM a little bit. Could do the same for Toast on the left lane. He's trying to find that positioning for it. RBM's still going to have a bit of room that he can sneak through. Poison's also bound to be closing in momentarily. Fade now with the super in. Lots and lots of damage on the left side. RBM still alive. Tyrant at risk of falling. Zulon gets tapped up. It's a trade. Down goes Tyrant. And Chazmak Gaming, just like that, they are your monthly finals champions here in NA East.
For the first time in 2 years. Goodness, rotating the phone too. Caught me off guard a little bit. You scared me, brother. For the first time in any match in 2 years of BSC gameplay, Tribe Gaming have been swept. A dynasty brought into question now after such a strong showing at an international level, and now being 3-0 swept by Chazmak Gaming. Congratulations to the back-to-back monthly finals champions, CMG&A.
What a wonderful performance. I mean, also making history here, sort of for themselves here in the respect of Chazmak, but also on the side of Tribe Gaming. They came into this looking very, very strong. And I think, honestly, this says a lot more about Chazmak than it does about Tribe. They are on fire right now. Only a single game conceded throughout this entire series. Brilliant drafts, brilliant gameplay just across the board. Seriously impressive, and a very, very well-earned victory.
More than well earned, and brother, I'm kind of fearful for you when F. returns to the podium, because he is going to have an earful for you, my man. 80-20 not aging well, 60-40 not aging super well either for either of us, so I'm sure F. will let us hear about that a little later down the line. Grand finals, though, it's just incredible stuff. I mean, to do it at this level, to do it 2 months in a row, and again, Tribe Gaming should have all the confidence in the world. They performed excellently at the international stage. They get second place, and now they come home to to CMG, who have been waiting for an opportunity for a rematch, and they took full advantage of it. RBM obviously capturing the eyes of many, including ourselves, with the aggressive gameplay, but this was a team effort. I really do think every guy doing their part. Fade here with 6 kills, Toast with 4, and the MVP vote, I think it's going to be RBM from the people at home if I had to take a prediction, but I will say I think a lot of credit deserved to all of the guys here for CMG.
Every single team member putting in so much work. We'll see who it winds up being. Chazmac, they've looked so strong. There's the RBM MVP, and he's the MVP even from set number 1 in my heart. That 99% comeback, I think, really was on his shoulders in a lot of ways. He played that Sam excellently 2 times in a row, keeping up the aggression. It's just what he does well.
I think so too. I mean, they've definitely found a formula that works, to say the least here. It was just awesome to watch, not just winning, but winning in the fashion that they did. Winning their way is a big part of it for me too. They kind of go against the grain a little bit with that selection. Again, Sam is not a regular choice. This isn't even an NA thing, I would say. I think this is just an RBM and a Chasmic Gaming NA thing, and I have a lot of respect for that. I think they did a great job doing that and just playing in the Tribe Gaming, maybe even catching off guard. Again, I don't watch every practice. There's only so many things that we can know, but that is definitely something that caught my attention, and I think deserves a lot of recognition here for these guys.
Well done for them. I'm incredibly happy for the CMG guys because they've become your first team in NA East to win 2 monthly finals in a row. This has been a really inconsistent region, and we could finally be finding some form of consistency here. It also pushes them up in points too, which gets them that much closer to representing the NA East region on the international stage.
Yeah, pretty wild to think about, right? I mean, in this region, we've got LCQ and a world spot on the line, and so a 3-0 defeat towards Tribe Gaming is a real statement. Going through the LCQ is an extra step that I'm sure Tribe Gaming don't want to take. And for CMG, a couple of these guys have made worlds before, but a couple of them haven't. A couple of them haven't had that opportunity to play at an international stage. So Quarterman F-Dot, I'm sure they're really hungry too. And I know from talking with Tribe Gaming, I'm sure this is going to hurt, but they are definitely willing to want to prove themselves too. They're still looking for that first international victory just as an entire event as a whole. So I'm sure Worlds, LCQ, whatever it takes to get there, they'll be more than keen to go grab it. But for today, it is going to be Chasmic Gaming Ready who take the big honor of our grand finals, now back-to-back champions.
Just stellar stuff. We see now the point representing on the board, only 10 points behind. Chasmac Gaming and A, they were waiting for Tribe Gaming to come back home after their 2nd place finish at Masters, and now they've had something waiting for them the entire time, but they're still not there just yet. Tribe Gaming are a remarkably consistent team. We've said this repeatedly, and Chasmac Gaming in A being able to get the upper hand 2 times just isn't enough to make up for a lack of consistency, for lack of better words, in the earlier part of the season. They seem to be hitting their stride now. Of course, don't want to place any curse on it, but I'm always hoping for the come up with these guys.
Well, we're going to get to hear from the back-to-back monthly champions now. Bringing on to the mic, Toast. Congratulations, and you look a little different, Toast. I don't know if we can hear you, but if you can hear me, there it is. Congratulations. Back-to-back monthly finals champions right now. You guys are the first in NA East to win multiple grand finals on the year. Congratulations. And first of all, how does it feel? I mean, especially after kind of waiting on the sidelines there during that break for BSC, you guys had to watch 2 counterparts in Tribe Gaming and STMN and go at it. And now you come back and you win this one. How does it feel proving yourselves, especially against a team like Tribe?
Yeah, I mean, it feels great. Obviously, they're a very, very good team. We saw them play at ESL. And honestly, it was kind of sad watching. Obviously, we all really want to be there, my entire team and I. So we're hoping that we can make Worlds or LCQ at the worst, but hopefully Worlds, and hopefully get to play against those teams and show how we can perform at the world level.
Absolutely. I mean, now knowing what you can do and seeing how well Tribe and STMN perform, does that kind of influence how you all feel about your odds if you make that international stage? I mean, like you said, it's gotta hurt, but more than well earned today. And seeing them do as well, do you think you guys could do the same, if not better?
Yeah, I think we can do very well at Worlds. I think we all have a unique ball pool on our team. I think we're very unlike Tribe and a little bit similar to STMN, but also different in our own way. So I think that will bring a new thing to the international level, and I'm hoping that we can prove ourselves there, and I'm excited to do it.
Yes, sir. I think a lot of the reason why we love watching you all so much is the unique play style that you all have. You know, we say it on the broadcast all the time, but one of the unique things that I find about Jasmine Gaming NA is that you guys are 4 different players with 4 very different responsibilities. I mean, take RBM, for example, popping off there with a brawler that doesn't get a lot of playing time these days. You know, how do you get away with that? How do you have the confidence to run things that aren't necessarily meta? You know, what makes you all stand out and be so confident in those choices?
Well, we definitely knew we wanted Sam on parallel. I mean, we went in a lot in scrims. It worked very well. I think we won almost every single time with it, or every time. So, like, we knew we wanted that brawler. We were actually going to leave Shelly open, but then we saw tying Shelly against Moto Mammoth, so I decided to ban it. And then in Save Zone, we actually played against Patchy's team in a scrim and LG Luminosity Gaming, and they beat us with Sam very, very badly yesterday. So I was like, okay, like obviously this works because we can't beat it no matter what we did. So we tried it once, we won with it, and we're like, you know what, we're just gonna go with it because Safe Zone is one of Tribe's best maps. So we're gonna have to definitely pull out something to surprise them, and that's what we did.
I love that. I mean, literally coming up with the idea yesterday for something that has such high stakes. I mean, such impressive stuff. Always great talking to you, Toast. Gonna get your final thoughts here. Anybody that you want to thank before we let you go?
Yep, thank you to Charlie and Mac, obviously, our org winner. Love CMG. Hopefully we get a pin one day. And then also shout out to my team, obviously. Love you guys, our coach, Sward. And shout out to the entire group chat, especially Patchy with that Sam thing yesterday. That's really saved us. And I think that's a big part of why we won. So big shout out to you, Patchy. Thank you.
Well, we'll get to see Patchy a little later down the line as well. We'll see if he can pop off the same as y'all. But congratulations once again, Toast. Well earned. And again, the first team in North America East to win back-to-back or 2 grand finals. Have a great one.
You too. Thank you.
All right. I mean, what a day, Reddy. Great interview with him. Always a privilege catching up with that side. And again, just such impressive stuff overall. I think you heard it from Toast. It's something that they really want to do. They want to make it to that international stage, and it even hurts. And as, you know, past competitor in sports or whatever it may be, I'm sure that's really got a feel for him. But now seeing that they can beat Tribe, a team that got second in that international, confidence got to be an all-time high if you're a CMG fan.
Yeah, I mean, coming in with strats, collaboration across the region, and also playing things really intelligently, having some intuition, making some split-second decisions that end up working out in the end. It gives me a lot of hope for CMG, considering also they won the last month as well. So that form of consistency, I think they're on a really, really good road to possibly qualifying for the World Finals.
I think they've got a great shot too, and that'll wrap up NA East, but don't go anywhere. Brawl Stars will continue with NA West at 3:55 Pacific time. Hold on, folks, grab your snacks, and we'll be back in just a little bit. See you then.